So good morning students, once again I am before you, standard 7. Today I am going to start chapter 7 of history, which is about the Delhi Sultanate, its administration, socio-cultural development and the development which took place in the religion and architecture field. So students, as I had already mentioned you that the attack of a foreign invader named Muhammad Ghori, that foreign invasion, not only led to the establishment of a new empire but also gave people a new religion. And the coming of the foreign invaders and their establishment in the country led the foundation of Delhi Sultanate, as well as it also added cultural diversity to the country. Now, see, as I will not go more deep in the introduction process because already on Delhi Sultanate I had discussed a lot. So I will come to the point. Now I will first of all mention you about the administration. So students, as you know that, see, administration is a very crucial part. So here in Delhi Sultanate, you know that it is not a small kingdom, it is a vast empire. So it's very obvious that to run such a vast empire, definitely you need the assistance of the people. There is a bifurcation of the kingdom, and here also is the same case. In the case of Delhi Sultanate, you will see the whole empire, they were bifurcated, they were divided into the iktas which are known as provinces. Okay, and these provinces were further bifurcated into sheikhs, that is known as districts, and your villages, that is known as parganas are actually the group of villages. Okay, so and likewise there was a division of the whole empire. And see, division of the empire, it is because the empire was very large, and for a single king, because during that time a king used to rule, so for a sultan or king it's very difficult to control or rule the whole large empire. Even today also, if you will see that the country India, it is a very vast country. So it is divided into 28 states and union territories, and that division is because so the country is very large, and head of the country, whether that is a president or prime minister, they cannot alone run the country. So they have divided the country into different states so that it can be run easily and properly. Okay, so likewise here also bifurcation, division of the empire was because the empire was large and it can be run smoothly and properly, so that's why it was divided. Now, who were the people who were helping the sultan to run the administration? If you will see the nature of the Delhi Sultanate, you will find that in theoretical terms it was run according to the Islamic laws, but in practical terms you will see that the sultan usually did not interfere with the practices or beliefs of the non-Muslims. Okay, and even you will see that in the running of the administration, the sultan used to have assistance of different authorities. Suppose the sultan, first of all I would like to mention you about the sultan was the king. Actually, during the era of Delhi Sultanate, during the period of Delhi Sultanate, the king used to proclaim themselves as sultan. That's why this period, the whole period, is known as Delhi Sultanate period. Okay, now the sultan was a very powerful person, and he, during that time, the theory of kingship was very common. What is this theory of kingship? According to this, a ruler is a representative of God on the earth, so nobody can question his authority. So here sultan was very powerful. He was enjoying enormous power. He was the main head of the administration. Okay, and he used during the time of Delhi Sultanate period, you will see that the sultan, they proclaimed themselves as the agent of Allah. Okay, so you can assume their power. Now, apart from king, there were other authorities who used to help the king to run the administration, like Qazi who used to look after the law and order. Qazi is actually the post of a judge. Okay, Ariz a Mamalik, he was the minister in charge of the army. Likewise, your Naib Sultan, he was the governor, he was the main head of the provinces. Like your king was the head of the whole empire, your Naib Sultans were the head of the provinces. Okay. Apart from that, if you will see, there were also Wazir was actually the chief minister. Then Bakshi was the paymaster of the army. So these were the authorities who used to assist the king in the running of the administration. Now let's move to the socio-cultural developments. See, definitely when a new rule comes to the country, we have seen that there was a new establishment, people got a new ruler. There was also the entrance of a new religion in the country. So all these changes, they were definitely having impact on the people. So what kind of changes which took place in the society had influenced the people who were living during this Delhi Sultanate period? I will focus on that part. So if you will see the social developments, you will see that the society, when there was the emergence of a new religion, and that is your Islam in the country, that new religion brought a great conservatism in the society, that is orthodoxy in the society. And that is very natural, that because before the emergence of Islam in the country, the people living in the country were Hindus. Okay, so definitely they were feeling very orthodox, because there was also conversion policy going on with the coming of this new religion. So people, in order to save themselves from the missionary zeal of the Islamic ulemas and the rulers, they became very orthodox in their outlook. Strict rules were introduced, whether that was in terms of marriage or even for the women, even especially during this period, in order to save the society, to save their religion, to save the pride of the women, the Hindus, they started becoming more conservative. They introduced strict rules for the women. During this time, you will see that parda system became very this parda system that not only came into emergence, but also it started playing a prominent role. The women who were enjoying the honorable position, now they were limited up to the four walls of the house. And not only this, even you will see the polygamy was practiced, especially in the Muslim community. Polygamy means a man marrying many women. Okay, a man having many wives. So these were the you can say the drawbacks of the society. Apart from this, you will see that the Sultan, they used to keep the slaves. So slavery also became very common during this period, and slavery, which was very unhealthy for the society also, and it had also it was a major drawback, you can say, of a Delhi Sultanate period. Apart from all these drawbacks, if you will see, then the best part was the emergence of the bhakti movement. Yes, during this, whenever there is a new change in the society, a change not only brings the bad things, it also brings the good things. So along with the Islam, there was also emergence of Sufism. Okay, so Sufi saints and Bhakti saints, they played a prominent role in bringing change in the society. And during this era of Delhi Sultanate period, you will see there was a emergence of Bhakti movement, which is a very important part of medieval period, and it had played a prominent role in removing the drawbacks of the society, in establishing removing the orthodoxy from the society, in bringing the liberal principles in the society. So if you will conclude the whole thing, you will find that the society was going through a transition phase. Okay, and the whole society was divided into the different sections, like the nobles and the sultans. They were the most prominent part of the society, and they enjoyed the very luxurious life. So the first part of the society was consisted of nobles and the sultans and his relatives. Apart from the second part of the society was consist of priests and ulemas, who were actually the religious leaders, and they enjoy very prominent and powerful position. Even you will see the ulemas, there were some ulemas who had a great influence over the sultans, who even have the power to influence the uh, changes, who have the even the power to influence the policies of the government. Okay. Now the third part of the society was your town people. The during the era of Delhi Sultanate period, the third section of the society was of the town people, and these town people were especially the wealthy merchants, the traders, your artisans, craftsmen. Okay. And the last section of the society was your peasants, and these peasants were especially from these peasants, they have to pay the revenue, and they were actually, most of them were the landless laborers who used to work on the land of the subedars, or your landlords or zamindars. Okay. So this whole discussion was about the society, about the social developments of Delhi Sultanate period. Now let's move to the culture. Now if you will see the cultural part, you will see that the society which was existing before the emergence of this new religion or the new rule, that is your Delhi Sultanate, it was a Hindu society. But with the coming of the Delhi Sultanate, their new religion added cultural diversity to the life of the people. And not only it added the cultural diversity, but also it also brought a great development in the field of literature, architecture, languages. So there was overall development, and this development was especially Arabic Persian development, which was brought by this new rule. And now if you will move to the languages, especially to the language, the development which took place in the field of language and literature, because see, the sultans, they have contributed a lot in the growth of literature. And during the era of many rulers, we have seen they have not only patronized the great scholars and the writers. These scholars and writers not only have given a idea about the condition of the people, about the ruler's contribution, they are providing a rich information about the exchange, about the intermingle of the Arabic, Persian, Hindu culture. Now, in terms of the language and literature, you will see that the Delhi Sultanate, the language of the Delhi Sultanate administration was Persian. Okay. And during this era of Delhi Sultanate, the language underwent many changes. There was emergence of Urdu, a new language which came into emergence because of the intermingle of Persian and Hindi. So the mixture of Persian and Hindi gave birth to a new language known as Urdu, which was the language of the common people. Not only this, you will see there was emergence of many regional languages during the era of Delhi Sultanate period. Even the rulers of the Delhi Sultanate, they used to encourage the writers, and during the time of Delhi Sultanate rulers, you will see there were many great authors and their works which had added diversity in terms of literature, like Tariq Firoz Shahi by Ziaud Barni gives us a detailed information about the Tughlaq dynasty. Likewise, Tahqiq Hind by Al Bruni gives us information about the state affairs, or especially during the 11th century period. The writings of Kalhan, the scholar from Kashmir, especially his book Raj Tarangani, gives us information about the administration, about the life of the people, about the other scenarios which was prevalent in Kashmir during that time. So these writers, not only these writers, there were many writers who were encouraged by the rulers of Delhi Sultanate period. Amir Khusro, who was not only a great author and poet but also a great musician. He invented sitar by combining veena and tanpura. So not only in terms of literature but also in the field of music, he had contributed a lot. So during this time you will see a lot of translation work was also going on. Lot of Sanskrit literatures were translated into Persian, and you can say you the most important part of the Delhi Sultanate period, especially which is related to the contribution of the literature, is that before the Delhi Sultanate period, you will not see there was any work which was going especially about the historical preparation of historical backgrounds. Okay, so during the era of Delhi Sultanate period, you will see that the rule or the contributions of the rulers or the historical backgrounds, they were prepared by the authors and the writers in order to provide information to the future generation. And the emergence of bhakti movement, it also added new dimensions in the field of literature and language, because there was emergence of many regional languages due to this bhakti movement, like your Gujarati, your Bengali, because the saints of the bhakti movement, whether that was Mirabai or Kabirdas or your Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Eknath, they used to write and convey their messages to the people in the local language, okay, so that people can understand what they want to convey. Like Eknath, he was a bhakti saint from Maharashtra. He used to compose the songs or write the things especially in the Marathi language. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and your Chandidas, they used to compose the devotional songs in Bengali. Likewise, Kabir Das, Mirabai, Tulsidas, they used to write in Hindi. They used to prepare their songs or writings, especially in Hindi. So in this way, you will see there was emergence of many regional languages during the era of Delhi Sultanate period. Now let's come to the dance and music. So in the field of dance and music, you will see a new form of music that emerged, that is your Hindustani style of music. Not only this, even there was emergence of many new musical instruments like your tabla, sarangi, sitar. So sitar was especially invented by Amir Khusro. He combined the South Indian veena with the Persian tanpura. Okay, and with this there was a new musical instrument known as sitar. Not only this, even there was also emergence of a new form of dance known as Kathak. Okay, and apart from this, you will see that the musicians or the dancers who used to live in the courts of the rulers, they were encouraged, they were patronized by the rulers. In Hindustani classical music, it was actually a fusion of Indo-Arabic Persian style. Okay, and in the form of chorus singing, you will see that the new style was developed, that was Qawwali singing, and this was especially popularized by the Sufi saints. So the Bhakti and the Sufi saints, they also played a prominent role in the development of dance and music. Now let's come to the architecture field. You will see the architectural development, you will find that the rulers of the Delhi Sultanate period, they brought Arabic and Persian style with them, which emerged with the Hindu style of architecture, and it gave rise to Indo-Islamic architecture. If you will see the pattern which was especially adopted by the builders during this period, you will see they were using there was influence of regional architecture also. The mosques, the temples, or the buildings, or the forts or palaces which were built by the by the rulers or the builders during this period, you will see they were also having influence of the regional culture. Even the Indian techniques and decorations were also adopted by the Islamic rulers to build the buildings. And the major characteristics of this Indo-Islamic architecture was the domes and arcs, which was used on a very large scale by the builders. These domes and arcs, they help the builders to build the large buildings without the use of so many pillars. And if you will see in terms of decoration, you will see that they don't use the human or animal form to decorate the buildings. They especially use the calligraphic style of writing or calligraphic designing to decorate their buildings, or the floral prints. Basically these were adopted to decorate the buildings. There was no use of any human or animal forms to decorate the buildings. Although locally available materials were used to make the buildings, but sometimes the sandstone and marble were also used to add the diversity, to add the color to the buildings. During the reign of these Delhi Sultanate rulers, many tombs, cities were built by the rulers and the builders, like the tombs of Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Kotla, the city of Tughlaqabad, then your Qutub Minar. These are the some of the finest examples of architectural development which took place during the reign of Delhi Sultanate rulers. Now let's come to the religion. What were the major developments which took place in the field of religion? In the field of religion also there were many developments, like you will see there was emergence of Bhakti and Sufi movement, and these two were a great developments during the era of Delhi Sultanate period, as it brought new principles of liberalism, brotherhood and unity in the society. So with the emergence of these two new developments, there was a unity and brotherhood among the Hindus and Muslims. Both and Hindu and Muslims were influenced by each other. You cannot say that there was only influence of Islam over the Hinduism. Even the Muslim people, they adopted many cultures of the Hindu people. Likewise, because whenever the two sections of the people, they live together in the society, there is a intermingle and exchange of the culture, and same happened here also. Apart from this, if we will see in the field of religion, there was apart from this, you will see that there were different religious restrictions which were put on the people, and which vary from ruler to ruler and time to time, because there were some rulers who used to impose very strict restrictions over especially the non-Muslims, but there were some of the rulers who were very liberal and who did not used to interfere in the life of the people, or the belief they did not used to interfere with the beliefs or practices of the people. Okay, so here the chapter is over. I am giving you the question answers and everything of the exercise, whether that is your match the following, fill up the blanks. And so thank you. Please go through the chapter, and